HVAC and maintenance.
And I know you know that you're here regarding an incident that occurred on March 16th, 2023, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall what you were doing that day?
We're coming from the main office that I used to work for, going to another apartment to go work already.
Okay, and when you say we, who are you referring to?
Yeah, my friend Augustine, he was my coworker and we became friends.
Okay. And what kind of car were you driving?
We were driving a black Explorer.
Okay, and do you recall what highway you were traveling on?
We're going 410.
And what direction were you going? Like towards the airport or the opposite?
Towards the airport. We're going towards the airport.
Okay. You were driving, you observed a vehicle acting out of the ordinary.
Yes, I was on the far right lane and on the access road to come into the highway. I noticed it. The reason I noticed is because Augustine says he told me what's wrong with this truck. I looked and this truck was trying to hit us, trying to get me off the road.
Do you recall what the truck looked like?
Yes, it was a Dodge Ram, beige.
Okay. And when this was occurring, were you able to observe the driver?
Yes, he looked at me, we looked at each other and he was throwing up his hands and like cussing me out. And I was like, I don't even know the guy, but he was like, at the same time, he was swerving his truck towards me and I kept on trying to miss. Every time he would swerve towards me, I would try to, not let him hit me. So,
Okay, and did he hit you?
yeah, eventually he pushed me all the way to the far left lane. It was the right lane, so it was the third lane. And when he pushed me to the third lane, he actually clipped me. He really hit me, and then that's when I slowed down, and I was surprised, like, man, what's going on? So when I slowed down, he actually slowed down in front of us, and he slammed his brakes. I slammed my brakes, and then he started reversing towards us like really fast. So I recall in the middle of the highway, traffic going the opposite way, and we're going reverse, and he's chasing me, and I'm in a Ford Explorer. And of course, the Dodge Ram is faster, so he caught up to us. He hit me. When he hit me, he got me caught with another car behind me, and he had me there, trapped.
Did you get to see who was driving the car behind you?
Yes, it was a family. It was a guy with his wife and his three kids. They were behind me, and you know, he had us there. So yeah.
Just a moment. Excuse me, officer. Yes. Check shirt. No, not you, the person in front of you. Sorry about that. You may continue.
And so were you able to observe who was driving with the car behind you?
Yes, it was a gentleman with his family, with his wife and his three kids.
Okay. And when the gold truck reversed into you, could you hear or see anything?
Yeah, he had his pen there for it felt like forever. But I can hear the tires and see the smoke from his tires. Just he had his trap there and he kept on going and going and going. So I really felt like, man, he's trying to kill us, so.
And at this point, did something occur with your seatbelt?
Yeah, my seatbelt got stuck. I couldn't get out. We had a weapon. It was a gun. We showed the cops and everything. It wasn't loaded. We were trying to scare him off, but I couldn't get off because my seatbelt got stuck. So I told my coworker, "Hey, get off." Try to scare him off. And my coworker got off, went to his side, and pointed the weapon at him. Told him, "Hey man, you need to stop." He got off. He says, "Shoot me, shoot me." So he grabs a vacuum pump. A vacuum pump is it's a tool that you use for HVAC. It's about 45 to 55 pounds. He grabbed it and he threw it on my windshield. My windshield busted. So when he threw it on my windshield, I recall running from it because I don't want him to hit me with it because it's pretty heavy. He ran and picked it up and threw it on my coworker, and it landed on my coworker's legs.
And what effect, if any, has this incident had on you?
Oh, my life's changed. I mean, every time I drive or my mother's driving or my wife is driving, any car gets close to us, I just sense to like jump and, you know, like even my wife gets upset, like, man, I'm driving right. Like, it's just in me that I jump. Like, it's just, you know, I guess she goes, you got PTSD off of that now. So, I mean, that's something that's changed when I'm on the highway. I'm driving like an old man now, and then people honk the horn at me. I just leave them alone now. Like, you know,
So I'm gonna show you what's been marked as, state's exhibits P1 through P3 inclusive. Have you reviewed these photos before?
yes,
Okay, and, are they a fair and accurate depiction of how things look on the date of the offense?
correct.
And state's exhibit P1, can you describe what is depicted in?
That's me and Augustine and the truck were driving.
Okay. And in state's exhibit, P2?
It's the windshield where you can see on the windshield on the left bottom side where he threw the vacuum pump at us.
Okay. And state's exhibit P3?
P3, you can tell, like, even when he was throwing, like trying to hit me, you can see the car in front of us. It's another car that actually clipped me, trying not to hit us while he was, you know, we were going through that.
I'm tendering to defense for inspection, but state offers state's exhibits P1 through P3. No objection, Judge.
All right, state's exhibits P1, P2, and P3 are admitted without objection. All right, any questions?
Very briefly, when your coworker Agustin pulled the weapon on Mr. Aguilar, he said he was saying, "Shoot me" to him.
Mr. Aguilar was saying, shoot me, yes.
Did it appear that he was trying to die by suicide?
Objection.
No, it didn't appear to me because I don't think he was trying to kill himself. I think he was trying to kill other people. That's the way I felt.
Because he didn't have, did he have a gun or a knife or anything like that on him? Did you ever see Mr. Aguilar?
He was reaching for, I feel like he was reaching for things to hurt us with, because he tried to hurt us with his vehicle. You know, after that, he got out. When he got off, he went into his truck grabbing stuff. So my coworker had to get on top of his truck and try to stop him from getting stuff from his truck.
And when the gun was pointed at him, he said, "Shoot me."
Yes, he did.
Nothing further.
All right, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
See.
Yes,
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Edgar Aguilar Hernandez.
Edgar Aguilar Hernandez.
All right, defense.
Mr. Aguilar, were you in your right mind on March 16th of 2023?
No.
No,
Do you recall any of the events that happened on March 16th of 2023?
No.
no,
Do you have any memory of all of these accusations and evidence that has been brought against you?
Es muy poquito lo que recuerdo, son partes muy cortas.
it's very little that I remember. They're like short bits and pieces.
Are you embarrassed and horrified to hear all of these things that you were doing on March 16th of 2023?
Claro.
Of
Claro que
course,
sí.
of course I am.
How does it make you feel to hear all of these things and to see the video and review all of this evidence?
Fatal, muy mal.
Terrible, very, very bad.
During the 2 weeks leading up to March 16th, 2023, were you under the heavy influence of methamphetamine?
Como ya les había explicado desde el principio,
As I had explained from the beginning,
yo estaba pasando por una crisis de mi vida muy fuerte.
I was going through a very strong, bad crisis in my life.
Yo me quería quitar la vida.
I wanted to kill myself.
No quería hacerle daño a nadie, quería hacerme a mí mismo.
I
No a
didn't
nadie.
want to hurt anybody. I wanted to hurt myself, but not
No,
anybody,
no a alguien más.
not
Quiero
anyone else.
hacer esto. Esto ocurrió sin que yo supiera.
This happened without my knowing.
So you do know that you were ingesting these drugs purposefully, right?
Sí, sí la estaba yo ingiriendo
Yes, I was
a
ingesting them,
propósito para quitarme la vida.
purposefully to kill myself, to take my own life.
And what happened as a result of what happened to your mind because of all of these drugs is what led to all of these cases, right?
Exactly.
And you've been in custody for nearly 2 years now, since March 16th of 2023, right?
Sí,
Yes,
And you've obviously been sober and you've had time to reflect on all the, everything that happened on that day and leading up to that day, right?
sí,
yes,
And you've essentially lost your family, right? Your wife and your children.
todo hasta mi libertad.
everything, even my freedom.
And it's been an agonizing almost 2 years, just knowing everything that happened and pain you have caused to other people, your family, and to strangers, right?
Exactamente.
Exactly.
And you're not a US citizen, is that correct?
No, tendría nomás un permiso y el proceso de estar aquí
No,
con permiso y seguro sea para trabajar.
no, I only had a permit and I was in the process. I had a permit to work.
You were a resident and you had a work permit, is that correct?
Sí,
And you were in
Yes.
the process of working with an immigration attorney to become a US citizen.
residente.
Resident.
And you know that because of these 2 convictions, that may not happen, and it's very likely that you could be deported to Mexico, is that correct?
Correcto.
Correct.
And you are asking for mercy from this court to give you the minimum, which would be 2 years with credit for the time you've served, so that you can try your best to pick up the pieces and move on with your life, whether that be in Mexico or somewhere else, right?
Se lo pediría con el corazón
I would ask you from the bottom of my heart
que si pudiera hacer eso,
if you could do that.
pero sé que también se mira mal por los hechos.
But I also know that it looks bad based on the facts.
O sea, cuando lo hace uno intencional, yo creo que sí se merece tiempo.
When you
Y
do
que
it
lo- que
intentionally, I do think you deserve the time.
Y si llegué a un juicio, no fue porque sea cínico, sinvergüenza,
And if I went to trial, it's not because I'm cynical or shameless,
sino porque yo no estaba consciente, no recordaba todo lo que pasó.
but because I wasn't aware, I didn't remember everything that happened.
Porque también tengo familia y no quisiera que pasara, que le hicieran intencional a mi familia.
Because I also have a family and I wouldn't want someone to do intentionally to my family.
Fue por eso que llevé esto a trial, no por,
That's why I took this to trial,
no porque sea así.
not because I'm cynical.
No further questions.
State any questions?
Mr. Aguilar, you've been arrested for possession of a controlled substance in Austin, Texas, is that correct?
Por una cerveza.
Ah.
Sí, sí, una botella de cerveza.
Yes, over a beer, yes, a bottle of beer.
And do you recall when you were in custody in the Bexar County Jail, you met with a doctor to evaluate your mental state?
¿En San Antonio?
In San Antonio?
Yes.
Sí,
Yes.
Okay. And do you recall reporting to that doctor that you had been doing methamphetamine for at least a year prior to being arrested?
sí,
Yes.
Okay. And so when you were arrested, that was the first time that you had injected methamphetamine, correct?
no, ya tenía más o menos 15 días que era todo de día y noche.
No, it had been like 15 days that I would do it day and night.
Okay. And during this time, you weren't sleeping or doing anything productive?
No,
Honestly, nothing. No dormía más que una hora.
I didn't sleep, but maybe an hour.
And I guess the funeral victims that testified in the trial, do you recall them when they came in here to testify?
Sí,
Yes.
And you said you didn't know them, right?
no, a
Okay.
nadie
No,
conocía.
I didn't know anybody.
Do you, your home address was that on Rosa Trail?
Sí,
Yes.
Okay. And so you lived on Same Street as those victims, correct?
si viven en esa calle, sí.
If they live on that street, yes.
Okay. And so you followed them from that street to where the incident occurred on 410, right?
Ah, cuando me pregunta que si las iba siguiendo, no recuerdo esas partes que me dicen que
When you're asking me if I followed them, I don't remember those parts where you're,
Okay. And are you aware that the doctor's conclusion was that you were not suffering from any severe mental disease or defect at the time that you engaged in this conduct?
sí, padezco de migraña.
yes, I suffer from migraines.
Okay. We have no further questions now.
All right.
I just
Any
wanted to
follow-up?
clarify one thing briefly. You had been using methamphetamine for a whole year prior to March 16th of 2023, correct?
No, casi, no un año, era como entre como 6 meses de lo que pasó para atrás.
Not a year, like it's 6 months before what happened.
Quite some time before the March 16th of 2023, right?
Sí,
Yes,
But you were using it in what you thought were lethal dosages to try to take your own life about 2 weeks prior to the incident.
exacto.
exactly.
And are you extremely sorry for what happened to that woman and her daughters?
Vuelvo a decir, sí, sí me siento fatal, me siento
I will say it
triste
again,
por todo lo que pasó.
I feel horrible. I'm very sad about everything that happened.
And just to be clear, you don't remember them being your neighbors, correct?
No,
But you're
No.
just saying you did live on Rosa Trail, and if they did live on Rosa Trail, then y'all were possibly on the same street.
sí,
But you have no
Yes, yes.
recollection of these people from being your
No.
neighbors. Okay.
no.
No,
there any-
no.
Is there anything else that you want Judge Boyd to know that she hasn't already heard in the trial or here today that you would like her to consider before she makes her decision?
Lo único es la condena no sea como si fue en los 5 sentidos.
The only thing would be that the conviction, the sentence isn't as if I had done it in with my 5 senses.
Pues como dijo la abogada, si pudiera la condena reducir.
Like the attorney mentioned, if you could reduce the sentence.
All right. Any other questions, defense?
Nothing further, Judge.
State, any further questions? All right, any other witnesses, defense?
No, none from the defense.
State, any rebuttal witnesses? All right, the court will hear argument and state.
Judge, we're asking for 10 years and TCJ. I will agree with what the defendant and his counsel have represented. His conduct on that day was embarrassing and horrifying. And the 3 victims, Raquel, Fatima, and Brittany, also found it horrifying. And then the punishment witness that we brought in today, Victor, also found it horrifying. So much to the fact that Brittany, Raquel, and Fatima, I mean, Your Honor, I would ask you to take judicial notice of the evidence that was presented in the trial. But the court was able to observe their demeanor when they came in here, and they're still very much in fear over what happened on that day. And Mr. Lopez, who testified today, testified that he believed that the defendant was trying to kill him on that day. And so that's why we don't want to include it.
All right. And then with regards to the lesser included offense.
I'll defer to it.
All right. Defense.
Yes, Your Honor, just brief argument. You sat through the whole entire trial. I think it's undisputed that he was under the influence of methamphetamine combined with alcohol. He was attempting to take his own life. He's horrified to learn. He has very little memory of what occurred on that day, and he's been horrified for the past 2 years to learn more and more details of what happened that day, to see himself on video, to hear from these witnesses and hear their experience. We are not condoning his behavior. He's not excusing his behavior. However, I would like the court to also just consider and take note that he's not a United States citizen. He's had an ICE hold at the jail throughout the time he's been in custody since March 16th of 2023. Because of these convictions, there are second-degree felonies, aggravated offenses. We believe that it's like the likely outcome is that he will be deported in light of these convictions. So based on that, he has almost 2 years in custody. March 16th, 2020 of this year will be 2 years. We ask that the court sentence him to the minimum and then come what may on the immigration front, and that way he could try to rebuild his life in Mexico and try to find family. He does have an ex-wife and 3 minor children here that prior to this incident, he did help financially support. His wife, or excuse me, ex-wife wasn't able to be here due to obligations with the children, but we are in contact with her. She did represent to us that he did financially provide for her and the children leading up to this event. So with that, and with all the evidence you've heard, especially his mental state at the time, we ask that you sentence him to 2 years TDC.
All right, and with regards to the lesser included offense?
We'll also defer to the court.
Everybody is deferring to the court on, I want to know what you all are asking for.
Yeah, it's a class C, so.
So it's, as a class C, I believe the range of punishment for that is $0 to a $500 fine. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, so I think, not that I'm saying that it's not important. There is no imprisonment associated with that. So whether I give a $0 fine or not, and these fines that are collected, no one knows where they go. So with regards to count 1, the lesser included offense of assault, I'm going to do a $0 fine on that one. Now, with regards to counts 2 and counts 3, Mr. Aguilar, I understand that sometimes we do things, maybe we're under the influence of drugs. It is no doubt in my mind that you were under the influence of some type of substance based upon the testimony that the court heard. And based upon the officer saying there was dos equis in the vehicle that had been consumed and some that were not consumed, and also based upon the finding of meth. I understand that sometimes if we were not under the influence of certain things, that we would behave differently. But as you know, and as your attorneys know, voluntarily consuming drugs or alcohol is not a defense to anything. It may be used as mitigation to say, this is why I behaved in a certain way. So I understand that. So no one has addressed this issue for the court. Other than this case, does he have any criminal history? I know there was a mention of him having alcohol or some type of drug substance in Austin. Is there anything else?
Judge, as far as convictions go, he did have state jail trip on a possession less than a gram. That's all that I'm aware of.
All right. Anything else from either side before I pronounce sentence? All right, so this is what I'm going to do. Counts 1, 2, and 3 are to run concurrently. Count 1, there's a $0 fine. And the reason why I'm giving a $0 fine as opposed to a $500 fine is, first off, no one knows where those fine monies go. Legally, and what I've read, I know where it's supposed to go. But when people are looking for those fees that have been deposited, no one can find them. So that's why I'm giving you a $0 fine on that. Counts 2 and counts 3. In each of those cases, the court will sentence you to 8 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon in each of those counts. And the court will give you credit for any time served. Is there any restitution for the complainants? I know there was a shattered glass.
So they have told us that the vehicle was totaled, but she wasn't able to provide any receipts.
All right, so, and who was the owner of the vehicle?
It was not found.
All right, so I'm gonna do restitution, if any, to the complainant, and nobody presented any restitution for the gentleman who testified for his vehicle. So there will be a restitution, if any, to, let me, just one moment, sorry. To Raquel Ildefonso Ortega. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
Nothing from the defense.
And I'm trying to see if I have a trial court certification. Okay. And Mr. Aguilar, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes,
All right, you have a right to appeal because this was a jury trial, but because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. And also, I'm going to request for you the therapeutic community. I have no jurisdiction for your placement in the program, but if you let them know that you would like to be a part of the program, they'll see that I requested it as well. And perhaps they can help you with your sobriety and also any mental health issues. Is there anything else from either side?